EA Sports FIFA 20 sponsors Saturday Social.
Joe, first show of the decade, first show of the season, first show of the year, sorry. So we're going to use this bit of a theme to look ahead with a few predictions. We're going to start, first segment of the show, by trying to predict the fortunes of every Premier League club. Can you explain a bit more what we're up to?
Not going to be easy.
No.
Every single Premier League club. It's going to be a little bit similar to what's trending. So we're going to have 60 seconds on each club to answer the biggest talking point around them.
OK.
We're going to start off with Arsenal. Let's keep it very simple. We're going to do it alphabetically. The Arsenal question is, can Arteta keep Aubameyang at Arsenal? Now, we've got 60 seconds. Specs, you may as well jump straight in here. Aubameyang, can he stay?
Aubameyang can stay because I feel like Arteta has now brought some new life into Arsenal. My only problem with Aubameyang, for him, he's playing out of position. I would think he would like to play through the middle. He went toilet during the game, so I ain't forgiving him for that. But
it was late on in the game as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was late on. That was
a goal.
So his diet there, I need to question his diet. But if I'm Aubameyang, I would understand. I would leave.
Would you? As an Arsenal fan, you're saying if you were Aubameyang, you would leave Arsenal Football Club?
Yes, because I mean he's come into the club with 4 managers, played at a position. I would go, and plus age.
Wow.
Real Madrid.
Not expecting him to say that, guys. Quickly, 15 seconds left. Do you think he'll stay at Arsenal?
I think he'll go in the summer.
You think he'll go in the summer, Joe?
Yeah, I think so. He should be playing the Champions League.
Wow.
He's got one last big move or deal, hasn't he?
I didn't think they'd all agree on that. All the guests think that Aubameyang will leave Arsenal. There we go. That is our first club gone. There is the ding. That is 60 seconds. Our next club from Arsenal to Aston Villa. Of course, we're doing it alphabetically. Yeah. The biggest talking point we want to ask our guests is, will Aston Villa be able to keep hold of Jack Greenish if they get relegated? James Allcott, 60 seconds on the clock has started. What do you think about that?
So I think Jack Greenish is one of the best English players in the Premier League. I think people often forget about those other teams after the top 6 sides, and he for years now has taken all the pressure of being the guy at Aston Villa and dragged them into the playoff final a couple of years ago, then got them up, and is now by far and away the best player in their team and keeps them going. For his own career, though, he probably should have gone to Tottenham a couple of years ago. I think in hindsight, actually, it was the right call. But if they get relegated, he has to go because he should be right on the cusp of that England team at the Euros.
More goal involvement than
amazing.
any other English midfielder in the Premier League this season. 6 goals, 5 assists. Villa are 17th, they're just 1 point off relegation. Do you think they'll keep hold of them very quickly, guys? Specs, 10 seconds on the clock.
Nah, I think he would have to go. I would love him to stay because I know he loves the club, but he's a player that deserves
if
to be.
If they go down, it's selfish of them to keep him, I think, beyond whether he wants to.
All agreement.
This is lots of agreement. I like it. Let's try and get some disagreement. Maybe he'll be around Bournemouth because I want to know, will Eddie Howe still be the manager of Bournemouth next season? Let's come to you first, Joe.
Bournemouth could get relegated from the Premier League, get relegated from the Championship next season, and possibly get in some trouble in League One. Eddie Howe will still be there.
Do you think?
I think he's the safest manager. He's got the safest job in the Football League.
Why?
Just because of where he's taken them from and where they were when he stepped in. That whole club is in his image. It has been really rocky for a while now, and they've spent a bit of money.
That's not the question. Will he be manager at Bournemouth next season?
I don't know who will take him on now.
I tell you, when it gets to May next season, he won't be the manager. I think he'll go. I think it's got a little bit stale. I think he'll go. He won't get sacked. I agree with that. But I think he should
leave of his own accord.
Yeah, or someone will come and take him. He needs to make the leap now.
Where would that step up be now?
Sorry?
Where would that step up be now, do you reckon?
Everton, West Ham job would be great for him. If Rodgers left and went to another big club, which I wouldn't be surprised, he could go to Leicester. I think there's loads of options.
Loads of options, right on the buzzer. Yeah, they're second bottom in League 2 when Eddie Howe took over 3 promotions, but haven't had a great season so far. Our next team is Brighton. We can see the topic on screen right now. It is, will Graham Potter lead Brighton to their highest Premier League finish? Interesting, their highest Premier League finish is 15th in 2017-18. They are currently 14th in the league, 4 points above the relegation zone. The time has started. James, what do you think?
I like what they're doing there. I understand why he's there. And it's a long-term thing. They're giving him a really long contract as well. I think they will, actually, this year. Because I think they brought a load of players in with Chris Hughton, but they didn't suit the style. Now with Canabash, scored a couple of goals recently. He looks a lot better. People like Aaron Moy. I think they're a much better team playing in a better tactical setup. What do you think, Joe?
For me, I think that he will eventually leave Brighton, which is where I think they'll have some trouble. But for this season, I can see them finishing above 14th. But it's so tight between sort of 8th and the relegation zone,
tight, isn't it?
you could lose 3 games in a row and suddenly be a massive problem.
Tight, yeah.
So I think to give an overall season prediction is very hard. But I will say that I think they'll finish between 10th and 15th. So they're best finish.
There we go.
Let's move on. The next one, Burnley. Has Sean Dyche taken Burnley as far as he can? Specs, I heard you laughing there already.
It's slightly how Sean Dyche. Those guys have been there for too long. I'm bored of their faces.
15th though they are.
You're bored of their faces?
I'm bored of Sean Dyche's face at Burnley. We've got to switch it up.
Right.
So
That interviews that way instead.
But he's so consistent.
he is. But I just feel like I want to see Burnley, Bournemouth. I want to see with new managers, new ideas. That's me.
Querying sort of where Eddie Howe's next home would be. I think Sean Dyche's next destination is even less obvious. I don't think.
Yeah.
I think they're less. The teams above Burnley are so less likely to take him on because of this kind of presumption of what sort of style of football he would bring. I think he'd fall into that Allardyce mould of being like feeling like if his name was Sean Diacho, maybe I'd get a job in the top 4.
Can Burnley do any better either?
Burnley instantly finished 7th in the
Probably
Premier
not.
League in 2017-18. They're currently 15th in the Premier League. Of course, he got them promoted, relegated, then promoted again. The question is, has he taken them as far as he can?
Yes.
I think so. Of
Yeah, well, there we
Okay.
go. Full agreement again.
Full agreement.
Sean Dyche has taken Burnley as far as he can, according to our guest. Our next team is Chelsea. The big news a few weeks ago was that Chelsea's transfer ban this January has been lifted. So, of course, the question we want to know is, will Chelsea spend big now that that transfer ban has been lifted? Specs.
I'm looking at Chelsea. The team's young.
Linked with a lot of players. Those
Yeah.
are hard. Dembele,
Sancho, Ake.
Is it? But I look at Chelsea. Do they need those players? That's my thing.
Those players maybe not, but someone like they're desperate at left back, for example.
Yeah.
Whether they can get Chilwell now or in the summer, but that's the sort of player they should be going
So
for.
buying players in key areas, basically. Instead of just buying names, just
they
buying
shouldn't
names.
buy. I don't think they need Sancho.
But this January, can you see them spending big? Because this is the window they originally did have a ban for.
I think they'll try and throw some money around. Whether they'll get what they want, I don't know.
Lampard's first window as well.
Yeah, I think they're linked with Dembele. And might swap Giroud for him. I think the smart thing to do, I don't think Man United or Spurs have ever been weaker, so you've got a better chance of getting Champions League, which is all they really want.
Yeah.
And you can still develop all these young players who've been so good. So if I was Chelsea, I wouldn't spend any money.
Yeah.
Didn't know if that was a dig at us. Man United and Spurs never been weaker as we glanced at us
No
there.
need
So
for
should we
it.
move on?
No need for it. Yeah, the next one, Palace. Here we go. Will Crystal Palace keep hold of Wilf Zaha?
Every year we've just thrown more money at him, and he's gone. All right, yeah. And then the next summer's gone.
Is that his speech?
Yeah, it is. Come on, you know that's how he speaks. And then 6 months later he goes, oh, actually, and then he realises he's locked in like a really massive deal. I think this summer will be the summer he goes. I don't think he'll go in January, but Palace fans are kind of lying to ourselves about, he maybe wants to stay or he's not interested. There's like a real split.
Where does he go?
I think he might end up going abroad for a lot less than what we were quoting over
I
everybody else.
had a dream he went abroad, actually. Because he's always linked to a Premier League club. But imagine just Zaha going like Valencia or something.
There was a PSG link. I don't know how strong that was.
PSG?
Yeah.
They don't need any more forwards.
No.
And he reportedly handed a transfer request in the summer, so...
Yeah, I think the reason why he didn't leave in the summer was the price we were setting. I think that will be reduced, just another year gone. And he'll go.
Okay, he will go. Okay, next
With
team.
good graces.
With
by the
good
way.
grace. Okay,
Yeah.
next team is, of course, Everton. Don't forget we're doing this alphabetically, so they are the next team. Carlo Ancelotti is the new manager in charge. But what will he achieve at Everton, James?
0. I don't think he'll do anything. I think it's
okay.
going to go horribly wrong.
Big shot.
I think for him, however he wants to spin it, he's done a hell of a lot in his career, and I think he's stepping into a project that needs a hell of a lot of work. And dare I say it, I'm not sure. I think it's hard to go from there to there. Ji-sung Park, we bought him from Man United, QPR, and he didn't have the stomach for the fight. I don't think
Don't you think he's the guy?
Sorry?
Don't you think he's the guy that brings the players in to take him to that next level? Because the
20
squad's not
trophies as
terrible, but it's just lacking a bit of quality.
But is he more a man manager or more of a coach? And what does that Everton squad need?
20 trophies as a manager, though. They've won 2 of the 3 since he's taken over. He has turned it a little bit for them.
Yeah.
They'll give him all the money as well, I think, to spend. Whether
Do
that will
you
work
agree
or
with
not.
James quickly, Joe?
No.
It's a gut feeling.
No, I think
Everton need
maybe this is the year they need. If they can break into Europe, it will be this season.
Oh, there we
Hasn't got
go.
long.
Next one is about Leicester, and more importantly, Jamie Vardy. I want to know whether you think Jamie Vardy should come out of retirement, for England at the Euros in 2020?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Specs.
As a former Leicester fan, 100%. Jamie Vardy, for me,
I agree
is... he's about to be world-class, in my opinion. How many seasons? How many times are we going to talk about him? How old
He
is
is 32 now, though.
32.
Yeah, so just give him one more year. He has to pick the Euros. He has to come out.
Also, Harry Kane's injured as well now. And interesting when he came up with retirement as well, he actually said he did not want to be considered for selection unless there is an injury crisis. That was the sort of quote attributed to him, which is quite interesting, actually, which sort of, it's sort of not fully
A little wink. I'll be there when you need me.
he should be?
I think he should. I think England, although we've improved as a side, I think we also need that option of there'll be better teams against us that will be playing in major tournaments, and we need that option to hit them on the break. There's no better player on the break than Jamie Vardy.
No. I agree with you. I think he's a fantastic player.
Yeah.
You agree, James?
Yeah, it's no-brainer. Was it 17 goals? It's like
17 goals, which is 4 higher than the next high scorer in the Premier League, top scorer in the Premier League. Going great. So we all want him to come out of retirement.
Fingers crossed.
There we
Come
go.
on, Jamie.
Okay,
Jamie.
next one from Leicester to Liverpool. What a season it has been so far for Liverpool. But the question we want to know is, can this Liverpool team be considered one of the greatest ever? So a lot of debates this week. Of course, Liverpool had a fantastic year, but they haven't won the Premier League yet. So can we consider them a top team now, prior to them winning the Premier League, James?
This second.
This minute,
This minute.
Assuming they win in 2020.
Yeah. One of, not the greatest.
Why not the?
Because they haven't done it yet. You've got to, you know, you kind of have to wait on that. Obviously got that Champions League. I'm interested to see how, like, in 10 years' time, what will we really think of Henderson and Origi and Shaqiri? Like, will we be thinking of those as, like, as greats as well, or not? It's tough.
I think you'll look at them as a similar sort of level to like a Ji-sung Park, where you look back and go, that was an extremely effective player in that team. Because there's still some unbelievable quality. What about you, Specs? Where do you put them in the best ever Premier League sides?
For me, at the moment, they're the best.
Best Premier League team ever?
No, not ever.
Right.
But they're the best team in Europe at the moment, right now.
Okay, there we have it. Right, next team up is Manchester City. Big question here. Will Pep Guardiola be Manchester City manager next season? Joe?
I don't think he will.
Really?
I think when it hasn't gone his way, and it's not like this whole situation right now, you can tell he's trying not to show it, but you can tell he's infuriated when they win only 2-0 or something. So this situation, I think he's really unhappy with, and unless they really turn it around with like a big January investment or something like that, I think he's just going to pull the remaining hairs of his head out and just decide see a new project elsewhere.
I'm sure he has this habit of like 3 seasons in.
Yeah, 4 years at Barcelona, 3 years at Bayern Munich. He took over on the 1st of Feb 2016 at Man City.
Yeah.
So it's approaching that period.
Although City have they sort of made the club, they built the whole thing in order for him to come, so it was all in his kind of way he likes to do things. But I don't know if that's enough to keep him for another couple of years.
I hope not.
He won't want to leave as a failure, though.
Yeah.
So he needs to either win the Champions League this year or have another year. I think he'll have another year.
You hope not, you said, Specs.
Yeah, because if he goes, then they're going to try and take Arteta.
OK, from one Manchester club to another, and it's a very similar question, this, Joe. Man United is, of course, the team we're referring to. Similar, James. Will Ole Gunnar Solskjaer be Man United manager next season? What do you think?
Yes.
OK, you had to think about that one, didn't you?
Sorry.
You've only got a minute. You wasted time.
Sorry, that's totally right. It's all really quick now. I think I get really confused with Solskjaer because I think the fans like him, but he hasn't truly been backed yet. Either back him or sack him.
I can't believe he's still there.
You can't believe he's still there?
No, I mean, he gets good results against sort of like a chameleon side. United will get decent results against a Spurs or a City or Liverpool, and then they'll get beat at home to Palace, and those mid-table teams, they really struggle.
Haven't won 3 league games in a row for 50 weeks.
He'll be gone by Easter.
You think gone by Easter?
I think United are too proud to sack him.
Yeah, I think Ed Woodward's put himself into a bit of a position where if he sacks him, it's his neck on the line.
They like to do that thing as well, don't they, United, where they wait until the exact day where they mathematically can't qualify for Europe, and then they'll sack him. They did it with Moyes, they did it with Van Gaal. I think they might do it with Solskjaer.
So 2 seconds left. He won't be Man United next season for you? No.
Yes.
Yes, you think he will be Man United next season? OK, split there.
Moving on to another manager, this time Newcastle boss Steve Bruce. Is he going to better Rafa Benitez's 13th place finish last season? They're currently 13th in the league, so it's poised quite nicely.
I'd love to see it just because it would rattle the Geordies so much. I think they really didn't like it looked like such a step down, and it probably was in terms of managers. Well, no, it definitely is. But the fact he's done so well is to his credit, actually, up against it. I'd just love to see it for him because he's just kind of maybe unfairly got a bit of reputation as a bit of a joke over how he's just fared the last couple of years, a bit of a being too nice. So I reckon they can. The bottom half of the Premier League is a bonfire. And I would even Palace are ninth. I would class us in that. It's so interchangeable. I think, I don't see why they can't.
Specs?
Yeah, I'm with Joe. I think Steve Bruce. I mean, I've never rated him, but there's always a shocker in football, and he'll be that. He will. I think he will surprise people.
Oh, OK, there we go. I think it'll surprise people. Worth pointing out that Benitez did finish 10th in the season, but 13th last season. Newcastle currently 13th. So that is Newcastle. Next one is Norwich, possibly my favourite one so far. Will Joe get a Timu Pukki tattoo? Now, just to give you some context, as Joe said, Timu Pukki would not score 5 Premier League goals this season. He scored 5 in his first 3 Premier League games to make you look a little bit silly.
Yes.
And he did say if Timu Pukki got 20 Premier League goals this season, you'd get a tattoo of him. Timu Pukki currently has 9 Premier League goals. Will Joe be getting a tattoo?
I think he definitely will be getting a tattoo.
Would you like Joe to get a tattoo?
I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it.
He actually said that you'd get a Timu Pukki tattoo on your derrière, and it's part of your body. Would you like to see that?
I would like to see that, but it's not going to happen. He's not going to get 20.
He's not going to get 20.
I think pointing out though, that
Timu
Pukki's currently got 16 goals in all comps for
We're
club
not
and
talking about
country.
that. We're not talking
So if
about
he
that,
gets
are we?
20 goals in all comps, club and country, is it
Move the goalpost.
Just the surname.
Just the surname.
They didn't try and move the goalpost because half them
Should
will
we
come from
change that?
Iceland.
Should we change that?
He's not going to get 11 more though, is he?
I think he'll make you sweat because when their injury crisis ends, I think you'll start scoring a bit more. And I think you'll get to like 15, 16.
They could catch fire. They could definitely catch fire.
But we all agree we'd like to see that.
We'd love to see it.
And let us know what you think. If you think it's 20 for club and country, should he get a little tattoo?
Live on Saturday Social. Next club up is Sheffield United anyway. Are they going to be able to keep hold of Chris Wilder? That's the question I want answered. James?
No, I don't think they will. I think he's ambitious and he's risen through the ranks of the Football League so well. Although Sheffield United, obviously his team, I still think he'll...
So at the end of the season,
I think people will give him that opportunity as well.
Is he going to go?
Say that again, sorry.
If they finish 10th and upwards, you think he would just leave the club?
I don't think he would just
back
leave.
himself?
No, I think it would be one of those where the opportunity would be there, where there's that next layer of teams, isn't there?
Yeah.
Again, like West Ham, Leicester, all those guys. And when that merry-go-round happens, I think then he is the guy he's the new name. There's always new names that start cropping up. And with them doing as well as they have, I think he's one of those where he probably knows that that Sheffield United squad can only do so well for so long. And with the tactics, people are going to figure them out a bit as well. Certainly after the end of this season, because it just always happens. And I think when that happens, he'll need a new squad and a better squad to continue his sort of rise.
OK, there we go. Currently 8th in the Premier League. Play a very unique brand of football as well. Been a great season for Sheffield United so far. From one team to another. Southampton is the next team we're looking at. And we've got to talk. Only one place to start with Southampton. It has to be Danny Ings. Will Danny Ings make England's Euro 2020 squad? Joe, what do you think? Currently has 13 goals in the Premier League. Second highest scorer.
I think his form demands consideration at the very least. I don't think he would start. So you take him off. You still have Kane. Vardy if he comes back, Rashford ahead of him. Tammy Abraham even too. Whether we take 5 strikers to the Euros maybe. That 5th striker currently now, Southgate picks Callum Wilson a lot. And he's a very good striker, but hasn't been on red-hot form.
Hasn't scored since the 28th of September.
Wow, that's even worse than I thought it was. I think Ings is right for that spot.
I like what you said, he has to be in the consideration, because with goal scorers, surely you have to look at who's top of the goal scoring shots.
Yeah.
Second top scorer in the Premier League. He's got to be in consideration.
I think that 5th spot in that squad goes to someone on form as well.
Yeah.
So if you take Callum Wilson out and put him in because he scored 18, 19 goals, then it's understandable to put him in there, because you want someone who's going to come on because he's not going to start, like you say.
Just hope he's got enough time to show himself, because Southgate's very loyal to his squad.
Indeed. The next team, Tottenham Hotspur, would come to you, but I'm going to go to Specs for this one. Specs, will Jose Mourinho win a trophy at Spurs? Very simple.
No. I think Jose Mourinho has done that. I think Jose Mourinho is he's the Instagram manager, the one that just gets his moment every week and makes us laugh. That's it.
Just a 30-second clip. That's all you need.
That's all we need. He is TikTok.
Right.
That's what Mourinho is. The new TikTok.
He's just trying to become an influencer.
I don't think he's that old manager that will win you a trophy.
I think
20 trophies he's won in his managerial career.
His history is amazing, but now he's done.
He'll go all out on the League Cup. He always does wherever he goes.
Next year, because we're
next season,
Cup,
next season, this season,
If he's still in charge.
But next season he'll go full pelt for the League Cup.
FA Cup this year, do you think that is a winnable trophy for
Sure,
Spurs?
yeah, as you were saying, going through the cup sales, FA Cup, I can see that happening.
He
But
does-
I've got to say, he's got angry very
His face
early.
light
isn't
up
he?
there. He's so like,
He's got
oh,
angry
I like
very
it,
early.
yeah.
But you say that if he's difficult the whole time and then gets the FA Cup, you'll have it. wouldn't
Yes or no? Will Spurs win trophy under Mourinho?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Joe.
I'm trying to get invited back.
Definitely invited back. You're free next week. Anyway, Watford is the next team. Nigel Pearson, what a turnaround it's been for Nigel Pearson. The question on everyone's lips is, will Nigel Pearson pull off the great escape at Watford, Joe?
Yeah, I think he's got enough time to do it, and he seems to have done what is needed there to turn people out. The squad was good enough to stay up anyway. We knew that. We've seen how they, a peak Watford, how they operate and where they can finish in the Premier League. They haven't lost any players, so really it's just about getting them back to the sort of confidence and form that they've done before.
Yeah.
And I don't know what he's done to do that. I think someone described him as like a headmaster, kind of that routine.
Yeah.
It's working. He's got plenty of time to get out of
Yeah,
that
it's
trouble.
definitely working. Since he took over, they've lost to Liverpool, but beat Man United, drew to Sheffield United, beat Aston Villa with 10 men, and beat Wolves with 10 men. Can he keep them up, Specs?
I think Nigel Pearson will keep him up. Yep, I think he'll manage a great escape. And like Joe said, I think they've got the players. That's the key. There's players, especially like Troy Deeney, who've got that Premier League experience. I think they can do it.
Yeah.
James, quickly.
Yeah, Troy Deeney came back as Pearson got the job.
Perfect
I think
timing.
that's a huge part of it because it
point.
makes the other players around him look better. Yeah, I think they'll be okay.
Delafeu, good player as well.
Yes, next up we've got West Ham. Will David Moyes succeed at the Hammers? Specs. David Moyes.
So Dave Boyes has come back.
Yes.
Remember I spoke about backlash in wrestling?
Yeah.
People always come back.
The most random one already.
Listen, I've come back to Arsenal. That's how bad it is. So Dave Moyes should succeed. If you've come back in 2020, it's a good thing.
I think that 4-0 is a bit of a false flag. I don't think it's going to be that easy all the time because Bournemouth are in a real trouble at the moment. But I think he'll get them safe mid-table. I don't think anything above that. They've had to really temper their expectations again by bringing him back in. It's almost going, OK, it didn't work out.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to lead them to a European push, which is what they've kind of, their money should expect. But I think he'll get them out of trouble.
Yeah.
That's bare minimum, really, with West Ham, I think.
I think he finished 13th in
did
his
finish
first spell.
13th,
James, what do you think?
I get confused with West Ham. I don't know what succeeding is for them. Like, I guess Leicester kind of pushed the bar up a bit, so I don't think he'll be able to do that if that's what success is. So I don't think he will.
I think Leicester have really shown West Ham and Everton, that's what your money should be getting.
Yeah, very good point. Right, finally, our last club, last but certainly not least, is done in alphabetical order. It is Wolverhampton Wanderers. Will Wolves break into the top 6, Joe?
I think this year is the best chance you'll ever get to have it, because I just think, obviously, Arsenal, United, Spurs, they've been so patchy that suddenly it's all freed up. Even Chelsea really have been shocking form. They're still fourth somehow.
Yeah.
But Wolves have kept themselves in. They've kind of climbed quietly. They drew a lot of games at the start of the
Bad
season.
start season. Currently 6th, though.
Yeah.
They finished 7th last year, so...
Yeah, and the Europa League hasn't seemed to have knocked their league form, which I think is really impressive. If you look at what it did to Burnley, for instance. So I think they've got a really good shot at it, and I think they'll probably invest wisely in January to kind of keep it going as it is.
Surprisingly, the Europa League hasn't affected them because they don't really rotate much, Wolves. They play the same team pretty much every game. So you think they can? Specs, we've got 18 seconds on the clock. Can Wolves break into the top 6?
Yes, they've got players. They've got Champions League experience.
Yeah.
So, yes.
James, where do you think they'll finish?
I actually think the Europa League will hurt them in the end because it's got to come back, and I think they'll get quite far in it because I think they really care about it, and I think that'll hurt them. So I think they'll just miss out.
OK, just miss out. Thank you very much. Right, there we go. That is all the clubs covered.